To my beloved Joha, the husband of my youth. Joha, even saying your name carries a lifetime inside it. You are the love of my early days, when everything was still soft and full of possibility. We were young, learning life together, and somehow you made it all feel less frightening and more beautiful. Your laugh, oh your laugh, made ordinary days feel like celebration. I can still hear it. I think I always will. And the way you loved your children, Tabaron and Chesang, you adored them. You held them with pride. You played with them. You look at them like they were your greatest accomplishment. In their eyes, you were a hero. In mine, you were a gentle, devoted father with the biggest heart. You were my beginning, was still new and pure. Losing you feels like losing the music of my youth, the laughter, the dreams, the simplicity of believing we had endless time. But even death cannot take what we built. It cannot erase the love, the memories, the family we created. You'll always be my Joha. Rest gently, my love. You're forever part of me.
But the one of Ngeno, I know politicians are going to now start talking about some ill motive, or there is some motive behind his death. The politicians who have very little agenda, they always want to read some malice in the death of a politician, any politician who died.
The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki, speakers of both houses, Honorable Wetangula, Honorable Speaker of the Senate, governors, colleague CSs, the families of our departed brothers, fellow mourners, good afternoon. I would like to, on my own personal behalf, on behalf of my family, and on behalf of the Ministry of Defense, I would like to pass my very sincere condolences to the families, friends, relatives, and many Kenyans who are mourning today for the loss of our brothers, Wycliffe, Carlos, Honorable Ngeno, Lieutenant Colonel retired Were, Amos, and Nicholas. I will not be long because of time, but just to say that Narok County is in mourning for the loss of all these very dear brothers, as well as the military fraternity because of retired Lieutenant Colonel Were. And as Waziri says, I would like to say something very brief about our brother, Johana Ngeno. Although I am very well known to all these other young men from Narok County, as well as Captain Were. I have flown with him a few times. We have lost a great leader in Honorable Ngeno. And to me, he's a friend, he's a colleague, and a brother in so many ways. And unknown to many, maybe many people just know the abrasive side of our brother Ngeno, but he's a very amiable human being and a serious family person. I don't know if Naya knows, but I have messages of him inviting me to your baby showers. Unfortunately, he always caught me out of town. And I know he moved around with you, even on parliamentary trips, and, you know, I know how family person he is. And in his politics, we got elected into parliament in 2013. And for those who know how unceremoniously I got into politics, Johana Ngeno played a big role. I think he used to sympathize with this tiny young girl, and he used to pull a lot of big crowds. So part of the ways I got known within 2 months of campaigning was joyriding in his big crowds and getting known to the people of Narok County. He was very supportive all through our political career. And even on days when sometimes he would declare people persona non grata in Emurua Dikir, as I know the leaders of majority did not say much of the 2022 campaigns. They were tough. Honorable Ishungwa and Aaron, you know, there were days when you could not get into Emurua Dikir. But 2017. But he always supported me all along. And when I vied for governorship in 2022, he always called me my governor, while I knew exactly where his heart was. But he would call me his governor. And true to his word, he was always very soft with me. Even when things were hot in Emurua Dikir, I would find my way around. And I think he's a Mkarabati. I don't know what Sudi will say, but I know he's one Mkarabati of politics, Ngeno. So one day, him and Farouk accosted me in the deputy president's residence in Karen when we were at the heat of campaigns for governorship, and I was vying against his father-in-law, Patrick. So him and Farouk put me in a room and said, you know, we have seen far, and we know you are going to become a cabinet secretary. And knowing who he was and who Farouk is, nikajua hawa ananipanga. So I was very furious with them. I walked out on them. To cut the long story short, when I got appointed, he came back and said, you see, I had a prophecy. So amekuwa akinidai prophecy fees lately. We've lost a great friend, a great leader. We've lost great young people and captain here, and they will greatly be missed in all the various sectors where they served this country. And finally, when I saw the accident victims, when it started circulating on social media, and I saw, very unfortunately, our brother as being one of them, and Carlos being in the same aircraft, I got confused because I know where they stood politically. But like we are told, it is not that serious. When it is politics, we stand on different sides. Let's agree to disagree, but remember, it is not that serious. We have to hold our country together. We are brothers and sisters, even if we hold divergent views about things. And that is the same thing that we need to understand at this point going forward, that we can agree to disagree, but keep the peace, each one of us expressing themselves the way they want to. Your Excellencies, this is my church, and I know Bishop will allow me to say, Karibuni Kanisani. Thank you for coming to mourn with Narok County, with the family of our brother Colonel Were and the entire country. To all the families, may the Lord comfort you, and we are going to stand together as we afford a befitting send-off to each and every one of our brothers. The Lord bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, PS Hinga, on behalf of PSS and the Ministry of Housing.
To the families of Nick, Wesley, Amos, Carlos, Captain George, and my chairman. On behalf of the ministry, my CS is not here. She's also bereaved. P.S. Nixon. I don't know whether P.S. Nixon is here. And P.S. Arumonyang. The staff of the ministry. Members of the housing committee, you people, together with the chairman, unsung heroes. You know, chairman had many attributes. When majority leader said that Chairman Ngeno was going to be our chairman of the committee, the first thing that happened, I went to him and I told him, you know, mimi nilikuwa mtu ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Na huyu chairman, the only memories I have of him is of him having a lot of issues with President Kenyatta. Na amepiga kelele huko sana. Sasa ukinikia huyu chairman si atanimaliza. Akaniambia tulia. And we started the journey. And you all know, because you're Kenyans, it was a very difficult journey. You know, not many people will have withstood the fire that came with the housing bill, now the Housing Act. But I'll just give you two attributes of our chairman that made that journey quite easy. One, he had actually a very interesting sense of humor. I remember, you all know that I used to battle with weight. And chairman will tell the committee members, kama Hinga hajakufanyia kitu, kama hajaleta project kwako, or, you know, the best way to punish him, tumpeleke kwa site. Tumfanye atembee kidogo sweat. In the committee sometimes alikuwa nasema nipewe chai moto when he sees I'm sweating. But one day when we were in Kwale in 2024 for Mashujaa Day, I wore a pink shirt. Na nilikuwa nimesweat sana mpaka the whole chest ilikuwa na jasho. And Kenyans, you know, kwa mtandao are very unforgiving. So picha yangu ilipigwa na ikatembea. Mimi nilikuwa nishatoka mtandao saa hiyo juu ya kulimwa. So chairman alinitumia picha. Akanitumia picha ya mtu ameweka picha yangu na jamaa mwingine anaitwa Gaido. Na ule mtu alikuwa amepost, alikuwa amesema mimi ni twin brother ya Gaido. Sasa na mnajua Gaido na sitasema sana. Sasa the funny part was Gaido alikuwa amedeny, akasema mimi siwezi kuwa twin brother ya huyu jamaa. So chairman saw some sense of humor. There are days where he will call me TD Jakes. Namuuliza chairman, kwa nini unaniita TD Jakes? Anasema wewe ni TD Jakes kwa sababu you have a lot of passion, lakini una sweat kama yeye. He found a way of just creating a lot of humor. But wisdom. So I didn't even know that the late Ngeno was a lawyer. But the attention that he paid, he read that bill to the T. But one day, when we were implementing the project, something happened. When we did the markets that we're doing over 400 markets in this country. The way we procured the markets, we procured them in like 3 of them to reduce the number of contracts. Unfortunately, the markets for Bomet and for Kericho went to one very lazy contractor. Now, when you have a cluster of 3 markets in one county and you have a lazy contractor, you have a big problem, because it is not just one project which is problematic, it is 3. And this was his backyard. And there was a lot of noise coming from that end. So the chairman one day called me and he said, Hinga, unajua, yule contractor is very lazy. You can't have 6 markets stall in that backyard na ni kwetu. Sasa wale wanasema tuko na shida na Wakipsigis. Na ukicheza wataanza kusema unadharau Wakipsigis. Nikamwambia chairman, mimi siwezi dharau Wakipsigis kwa sababu ni tantamount kusema pia mimi ni dharau watoto wangu. Akasema what do you mean? Nikamwambia mimi nimeoa Mkipsigis. So chairman akanyamaza, akaniambia jina ya your father-in-law ni gani? Nikamwambia anaitwa Kibet. Akamaliza hiyo story. Akaita wale few members ambao walikuwa wametoka huko Bomet na Kericho. Tukakuwa na mkutano, a few of them. In the meeting, akasema, mnajua huyu jamaa? Akasema, of course tunamjua, ni PS. Mnajua jina yake? Akasema, huyu si ni Hinga. Akasema, hapana. Huyu jamaa jina yake ni Charles Kibet. Akasema, wakauliza anaitwa Kibet kwa nini? Akasema, akaniambia, wewe Hinga, kutoka leo ili upendekeze kwa hao watu, wewe ni Mkipsigis kwa sababu umeoa watu wetu. So he had a great sense of humor. So I will just say to Naya and the young children and your family, poleni sana. I just can't imagine the grief that you're dealing with. I will just ask that the Lord will give you comfort. The family chain has been broken. Nothing will be the same again. But as God calls us one by one, that chain will link again. Chairman, may your memories not just be buried on Friday. Let them be engraved in our hearts. For nothing loved is ever lost. Fare thee well, Chairman, and all the departed. Asanteni sana, God bless you.
Thank you, PS. We indulged you because I know how closely you have worked in the ministry with Chairman Ngeno. I want to ask all members of the National Prayer Breakfast team in the National Assembly, our usual Wednesday fellowship team, to make your way to the front. And we'll ask all the other members to please just stand up in your place where we are so that we may condole the family with a song that will be led by our choir master and whip.
You know,